Hey everybody, and welcome to this new book haul video. I'm Inxlaura123, and in today's video I'm going to show you and tell you about some of my new books that I've got recently. Hopefully I'll give you some ideas for books that you'd like to read yourself. Now if you enjoy watching, which, well, I hope you do, please click like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel. That would be awesome. And don't forget to smash the notification bell to all notifications, then you can see when I'm doing live streams and when I've uploaded new videos. Okay, so let me know in the comments section down below what book you are currently reading and if you're liking it or not. Also let me know if there's any new books coming out soon that you're like mega excited for, because I love reading your comments. Okay, so my fellow bookworm buddies, let's begin with the very first book. Now this one I literally finished reading last night, but it's still in this video because it is a new book. I only got it last week. So this is by Joanne Harris and it's called The Moonlight Market. This is the very first time that I've ever read anything from this author, which is just wild and crazy because she's had so many books. She's such like a big, well-known and well-loved author. How am I only just reading something from her now? I don't know. But anyway, this is the first book and I'll definitely read more because she's a fantastic author. I love the way this book flowed and like the words, and it was just everything about it was fantastic. So this is what I would call kind of adult fairy tale. You know, when you're a kid, I speak from my own experience, I used to love having like a bedtime story read to me from my family. You know, you're all tucked up in bed and you get that fairy tale and it's just so magical and amazing. And then when I was like an older kid, I started to read my own fairy tale books and stuff. But when you get to be an adult, right, you're like, am I too old for fairy tales? And the answer to that question is no. You are never too old for a fairy tale. And actually in this haul alone, I've got a couple of like adult fairy tale themed books here, and this is one of them. But yeah, I'm pleased to see, you know, there are more of this kind of genre now. So yeah, it's pretty cool. You're never too old for a fairy tale. So as I say, this one is called The Moonlight Market, and the main character is amazing. Like, I really love the main character. His name's Tom, and basically this is set in London now, but also set in London before, like past. It says a spellbinding modern fairy tale, forbidden love, magical wars, lost princes and a secret world hidden just out of sight. Also says it's perfect for fans of V. Schwab, which I am, so I was like, yep, it's all good. But yeah, there's like a butterfly queen, a moth king. They fell in love, then they kind of hated each other, and there's a big war that's gone on for like centuries. There's also their son, who is like the prince who's got lost in the real world, and there's this main character Tom, who I don't want to give any spoilers, but he basically sees this sort of magical realm through the lens of his camera and then gets kind of involved in all the magical stuff as well. So yeah, it's really, really good. And as I say, if you like fairy tales, read it. It's really, really beautiful. Lovely story. So that's that one. And yeah, my next book, actually, I literally started reading this morning, is also a new book. This is the brand new one from Shari LaPenna. Oh my God, I love Shari LaPenna books. Like, if you've not read a Shari LaPenna, you really should, especially if you're into like thrillers and crime mystery books. You know, like, she has just got it. The way she writes characters and the story, it's always really gripping. I mean, I'm literally only on page 29, which is chapter 5, and I'm already hooked, already addicted to it. I want to know what happens next. So after I film this video, I'm going to sit down on the sofa, nice and cozy, and carry on reading. But yeah, I think that her most famous book that she's kind of most well known for is The Couple Next Door. I remember that book being like mega, mega hyped everywhere. But she's done lots of other books as well after that, and they're really, really good. So there's a list here. We've got The Couple Next Door, Stranger in the House, Unwanted Guest, Someone We Know, The End of Her, Not a Happy Family, and Everyone Here is Lying. So yeah, this one is set in Vermont. It says nothing ever happens in sleepy little Fairhill, Vermont. The teenagers get their kicks telling ghost stories in the old graveyard. Parents trust that their kids will arrive home safe from school. Everyone knows everyone. The curtains rarely twitch. Front doors are left unlocked. But this morning all of that will change, because Diana Brewster isn't lying safely in her bed where she belongs. Instead, she lies in a hayfield circled by vultures discovered by a local farmer. How quickly a girl can become a ghost. How quickly a town of friendly, familiar faces becomes a town of suspects, a place of fear and paranoia. Someone in Fairhill did this, and everyone wants answers. One innocent question could be deadly. Ooh. But yeah, really, really enjoying this. And I think from just the beginning, I'm picking up there's like a ghosty element as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, and the cover's really creepy. But look, under the dust jacket, oh my God, I was really shocked to see this because I've never seen this on any of the Shari LaPenna book that I've had. But look, it's like a face on it. Look, it's quite creepy, but I like it. So that is my current read. And as I say, if you've not checked out her books and you're into thrillers, please check out Shari LaPenna. But this is What Have You Done? What have you done? Right, okay, so we're going to go to these two books here next. Now, I'll be honest, these were cover buys, okay? I'd never heard of these books. I just literally was out shopping one day and I saw them in the window of a shop in England called The Works. And I was like, oh my God, I need these in my life. Look at these covers, like seriously. There we go. It's got a crystal ball, there's tarot cards, like candles. I'm just all for it. I'm loving this. If you don't know, if you're new to this channel, I'm very much into like my psychic medium, spiritual stuff and witches and tarot and all that. So yeah, I didn't really know much about them, but I literally bought them because the cover buy. But luckily they do sound really good. So I got the Accidental Medium and then the Gin Palace comes after that. So it says, meet Tans, the accidental medium, who with the help of the dead is about to become an unwilling crime solver. So this is like a kind of cozy mystery with mediums and spirituality and spooky stuff. Also, it sounds like it could be quite funny as well. Tans is a wine-loving, straight-talking, once successful TV actress from Gateshead, whose career is shriveled like an antique walnut. She is still grieving for her friend Frank, who died in a car crash 3 years ago, and she has to find a normal job in London to fund her cocktail habit. When she starts working a new age shop, Tans suddenly discovers that the voices she's hearing in her head are not just her imagination working overtime, no. They are in fact messages from beyond the grave. Alarmed, she confronts her little mum and discovers that she's from a long line of psychic mediums. Despite an exciting new avenue of life opening up to Tans, darkness isn't far away, and all too soon there is murder in the air. So I don't want to read the back of this one because it might be, obviously, have spoilers, whatever, but I just think they sound absolutely brilliant. So yeah, and they're by Tracy Whitwell. Okay, right, next up, where should we go? Right, got the new book from Louise Candlish. Yeah, another one of these like go-to authors of mine. I've got a few authors that as soon as they have a new book out, I'm just like, right, I'm getting it. Even if I don't know much about it, I'm like, right, they've got a new book out, I'm getting it. But this one sounds cool. Louise Candlish, Our Holiday, this is called, and it says you've waited all year for this, and it's going to be murder. The only thing I will say, I was quite shocked because normally when Louise Candlish releases new books, they're always on hardback first, and then obviously later on down the line they come out in paperback. Now I do read paperback books, but my preference is hardbacks as I find them, I don't know, just like easier to read, because normally obviously in a hardback the font's just that little bit bigger, and I don't know, I just prefer a hardback. But anyway, I do still read paperbacks and that, but yeah, the font is a little bit small. I don't know if you can really see there, but it is a little bit small. I can read it, but yeah, sometimes when fonts in books are really tiny, it just strains and hurts my eyes. So I was like, I wish this was in hardback. But anyway, it says a stylish sun-soaked thriller, smart, sharp and suspenseful. Trouble in Paradise, it will be known for murder. So Charlotte and Perry long for summers at Cliffview, gorgeous holiday home overlooking the waters of Pine Ridge. And now that city friends Amy and Linus have bought a property nearby, they plan lazy weeks of sun, sea and sipping rosé on Charlotte's summer house veranda. A rising tide of resentment towards second homeowners is heading their way, and small acts of criminal damage are escalating into something more menacing. By the end of the summer, families and friendships will be torn apart, and Pine Ridge will be known for more than its sun-drenched beaches. It'll be known for murder. So yeah, I love these books when they're set in like, you know, exotic places and holiday vibes and stuff like that. So yeah, I am looking forward to read it. But as I say, I know I'm going on here, but I just wish the font was a little bit bigger and it would have been released on hardback first. But there we go. I'm just being really fussy. But at least she has a new book out, so I really love all of Louise Candlish books. Okay, so the next one, oh my God, this is gorgeous. This is the brand new book from Deborah Harkness. So it's called The Blackbird Oracle. I pre-ordered this like last year. As soon as I heard it was coming out, I was like, pre-order. Discovery of Witches, All Souls series. I have not read this, like been in this world in this series for so many years. I'm worried that I do forget bits and pieces because it was quite a long time ago, as I say, I read it. It was a big series and they were quite big books at the time. I remember that. I know that the main character was a witch, and she met a vampire called Matthew, and obviously I won't tell you bits and pieces because it might ruin it and give spoilers, but if you're into witches, if you're into vampires and lots of like magical adventures, then this could be for you. So it says here, #1 best-selling author Deborah Harkness returns to her beloved All Saints world with a triumphant novel that sweeps back to the Salem Panic and illuminates Dinah's family history in new and thrilling ways. So yeah, it's Salem. I'm obsessed with all things Salem as well, so that's going to be good. It's going to be great to be back with like the main two characters. I know as I go along I'll remember bits and pieces. If not, what I do, if it's like a series like this that I haven't read the last one for a while, I tend to just go online and just do a bit of research and kind of recap of what happened, and then it's like, oh yeah, I remember. So yeah, I really didn't think there was going to be another book in this series, so the fact that there is quite exciting. And how lovely is this? Look, under the dust jacket, it's all white and gold and just, yeah, magical. But I do remember they had the show on, I think it was on Sky One, Discovery of Witches, and I tried to watch it, but I just couldn't really get into the TV show, simply because, and I have this with a lot of books that become series or films or whatever, I think because I have the characters in my mind, like how they look, how they sound, how they act, and then when I see them on the screen, I'm like, that's not how I imagine you. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, but I'm so excited. I really am. I just wish I remembered more about them. So as I say, I do need to do a little bit of research on these characters. So yeah, oh look, there's like a Claremont and Bishop family tree here, which is pretty cool. Anyway, right, so yeah, that is the brand new book from Deborah Harkness. Okay, now I've got a couple of middle grades to show you. Right, so the first one is Emma Carroll's The Houdini Inheritance. Such a gorgeous, cute cover. I love this cover. Houdini there. Now, I've always been into, since I was a kid, always been into like magical things, like watching like tricks being done and trying to figure out how they're done, and just, it's just, I love it. I love magic and stuff. So Houdini has always been one of those characters in life that has really, like, I don't know, like, it really interests me. I find so interesting to watch like documentaries about him, and I've read stuff about him, and he's just, I don't know, one of life's like amazing characters from the past. And I don't know, as soon as I saw there was a brand new book about him, and obviously with the story as well, I know this is middle grade, I know I'm an adult, but I don't care. I never get embarrassed about saying that, you know, I like kids books now and again, even though I'm in my 40s, because think about Harry Potter, okay, just if you will, right? Harry Potter, obviously aimed at children and teenagers, but loads and loads, well, millions and millions of people, adults, have read Harry Potter, right? So I never feel too embarrassed, but I honestly think you can read anything you want to. If you want to do it, do it. But yeah, this is set in 1926 at the English seaside. A world-famous escape artist, a suitcase full of secrets, and a death-defying stunt. Harry Houdini is about to throw himself off Sidford by the Sea's pier, wrapped in chains. Glory and her friend Dennis are determined to discover just how he will survive, despite Houdini's techniques being top secret. Then Glory accidentally outsmarts him. She and Dennis are sucked into a dangerous world of rivalry and deception. Ooh. With Houdini's whole future now at stake, Glory and Dennis must travel to Coney Island in America, which, by the way, I've seen videos on YouTube of Coney Island, and wow, it just looks amazing. In America, into the dark underbelly of its amusement parks in time for the renowned annual vaudeville show. Honestly, I'm so excited to read this. It's just got everything I love in it. So yeah, I have read a few books by Emma Carroll. She's got that kind of, if you've heard of an author called Eva Ibbotson, she's got that real kind of Eva Ibbotson vibe. And I've always thought in her books by Emma Carroll, she takes a bit of her as an influence, like the way she writes. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. But anyway, okay. So the next book I want to show you is called Spellstone. It's by Ross Montgomery, another kind of middle grade book. Now, the reason why I've got this book is because last week I read this book by the same author, Ross Montgomery, and it's called I Am Rebel, right? Now, this book, oh my God, this is definitely 1,000,000% going to feature in my books of the year. I loved it so much. I love this dog. His little dog, cute dog Rebel. The whole book was so good, and because I loved it so much, I looked up online what other books this author had, and I saw this one. There was a few others that I was like, I'm not sure, but this one did sound my cup of tea, so I got it. But yeah, honestly, this is like a retelling, reimagining of Charlotte's Web. So, you know, you get the animals thinking, that, you know, their thoughts and feelings, and they're talking, and it's honestly, it's such a good book. And I know it's aimed at children, but honestly, I think it could be, you know, a great family read, or just as an adult to read it. It's just fantastic. So that is I'm Rebel. I give it 5 stars, by the way, on Goodreads, obviously. But yeah, Spellstone is like a kind of, you know, little middle grade fantasy magical book. It says Evie is used to being overlooked until she's until she's recruited into the Order of the Stone, a secret magical organisation, and discovers that being unremarkable might just be her greatest strength. Now, evil is returning to the land, and Evie is the only person who can stop it. But how can she defeat the most dangerous magician in the world when she doesn't even know her own powers? I love magic. I love books like this. This is just brilliant. And if this author can write that, I mean, this is just going to be brilliant. So, yeah, really nice cover as well. The greatest magic is hidden in plain sight. So that is Spellstone by Ross Montgomery. Okay, another book that I wanted to show you is this one here. And I've actually finished this book. I read this last week. Got into the thing, instead of reading the books that I own and have had for ages, I keep reading the newer books that I get, which is fine. Like, as long as I read the books that I own and have bought, then that's fine. But I need to start reading some of the older books. But anyway, I got it last week. I read it last week, but I wanted to include it in the haul because it is, of course, a new release. And this is by Sarah Percy, and it's called The Wilds. And it says, you wanted to disappear, but not forever. Now, I don't want to tell you too much about this book, simply because it is the third in a trilogy by this author. The first book was called The Sanitarium. It's quite a big book. It's out a few years ago, if you've heard of it. And the reason why I don't want to tell you is much about this, you know, is I don't want to give any spoilers. Now, I assume you probably could read them as individual standalones, but I don't think it'd work as well, because the detective who runs throughout the series, Ellen Warner, she, even though you've got your own individual story, like thriller mystery in each book, you get to know her backstory, and she's also got some stuff going on in each book. So this was the conclusion to that. So in my opinion, you should start with Sanitarium. Then I think the next one was, The Retreat was number 2. And then The Wilds is number 3. And it was a really great conclusion to it. And it covered some subjects which were quite hard to talk about. I don't want to give spoilers, but there were some subjects in here which, you know, the author handled perfectly, and it was just brilliant, and I love it. I can't wait to see more books from this author, so I would definitely, she's become one of my go-to authors, definitely. I'm gonna kind of miss Ellen, like, she's such a great character, but I think it was the right time. I think, all right, the series could have gone on. I know there's a lot of crime series that carry on and stuff, but I think what the authors decided to do is just have it as a trilogy is probably for the best, because it might have, you know, gone on a bit too long and dragged on. But I think, just leaving it as the 3 is brilliant. But please read The Sanitarium. It's absolutely fantastic, real dark thriller, and this one is good. I will say in this book, though, without giving any spoilers, there's some twins, there's a missing person, there's like a kind of cult kind of vibe-ish. Some of it's set in England, some of it's set in Portugal, and the last bit of clue that I can say without giving anything away is there's some really cool stuff about maps. One of the characters draws maps, and there's clues on the map, and it's really good. So that is The Wilds. The Wilds. Okay, next book I have to show you is this one here by Meg Schaefer, and it's called The Lost Story. Look at this beautiful cover. You've got the tree, and look, there's a little door. Knock, knock on the door. I absolutely love The Wishing Game from this author. It was just so, wow, it was so enchanting. I loved it so much. So when I saw that this author had a new book out, I had to get it. I had to get it. So this one is all about this kind of magical mystery forest. So it says, once upon a time, two boys went missing in the woods. 6 months later, they reappear. There's no explanation for where they've been or what happened to them or how they survived. Then 15 years on, Rafe is a reclusive artist with no memory of what happened during those months, despite the scars that he bears. Meanwhile, Jeremy is a famed missing persons investigator. With his uncanny abilities, he is the one person who can help vet tech Emil Wendell find her long-lost sister, who vanished in the very same forest as Rafe and Jeremy. So from that, I was like, wow, that sounds really like interesting and stuff, and the whole missing persons thing, and where did they go, what happened. Jeremy also keeps a secret, the truth about the magical realm they made home for those 6 months, and it's there they may find Emil's sister. Alongside Emil, Rafe and Jeremy must return to the enchanted world that they left behind, for only then can they get back everything and everyone that they've lost. So yeah, I don't know, like, it just sounds really intriguing. And under the dust jacket, it's this really nice kind of yellow, like lemon yellow colour. I think it's pretty cool. I do get excited about what it looks like under a dust jacket because I am a complete bookworm nerd and proud. So yeah, that is Meg Schafer's The Lost Story. Okay, right, we have got a couple of books left to show you. Don't forget, let me know in the comments what you're currently reading. As I say, I love your comments. I love finding out what books you like and what you're reading. Or if you've got any recommendations, like, please feel free to share them with me. And I just want to say a little apology because I feel like I don't really do as many book-related videos as I used to. So I really want to try and up my game with that and motivate myself to do it more. You know, obviously I still do book hauls and stuff, but I want to start bringing back, you know, books that I've read, or maybe like a solo book review, or something like that, or last book, current book, next book kind of thing. I don't know, but I definitely want to start incorporating more book videos because, yes, I know they don't get that many views compared to, say, I don't know, Spend the Day With Me vlog that I'll upload or whatever, but I know that people did enjoy them, and I enjoy them. I love talking about reading and books. It's one of my biggest passions in life. You know, it's my biggest hobby, apart from YouTube, obviously. So, yes, there will be more book videos. I apologise for the lack of bookish stuff. Okay, so the next book I want to show you is going to be one of the biggest books of the year, apparently. I have read so much about this one. It's been really, really hyped up. It's so many, like, book club pick choice book. And it's called All the Colours of the Dark by Chris Whitaker. And I'm going to open this up because I think this is really cool. Look at this. Like, the rainbow effect on it is so cool. So yeah, the only thing that puts me off is it is quite big. I didn't realise it was going to be quite as big. Like, I ordered it, went to collect it, and I was like, oh my, that's a chunky book. Big books scare me, what can I say? But you know what, I really want to give this a go because one of my favourite authors is called Jo Callahan, and I follow her on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter sometimes, then I'll call it X, but I follow her, and she was basically really hyping this book up, and then, you know, I saw other people talking about it, and I was like, it just sounds really interesting, really different. And the fact that so many people have it as a book club choice is, you know, it's obviously got topics to talk about and discuss. So, you know, I was thinking if anyone wants to do like a read with me, like a read, you know, book buddy thing, like we could do that or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so it's called All the Colours of the Dark, and it says late one summer the town of Montclair is shattered by the abduction of teenager Joseph Patch Macaulay. Nobody more so than Saint Brown, who will risk everything to find her best friend. But when she does, it will break her heart. Patch lies alone in a pitch black room until he feels a hand in his. Her name is Grace, and though they cannot see each other, she lights their world with her words. But when he escapes, there is no sign that she even ever existed. Left with only her voice and her name, he paints her from broken memories and charts an epic search to find her. As years turn to decades and hope becomes obsession, Saint will shadow his journey on a darker path to hunt down the man who took them and set free the only boy that she ever loved, even if finding the truth means losing each other forever. So you've got a missing person thing. What happened when he was missing? Who is this girl who, you know, held his hand and got him through the tough times? You know, was she real? Was she not? Then you've got the romance side of it, because she obviously, you know, she's in love with her friend, and yeah, I don't know. I just think it sounds really intriguing and interesting. And the fact that everyone is raving about this book, I don't know. It's kind of, it got me on the hype train as well. Apparently it says best-selling author of the book We Begin at the End, which I've not heard of. Have you heard of it? I don't know. But yeah, if anyone wants to buddy read with me, it is a big chunky one. But I just want to kind of read something like this with someone or a group of us, and then maybe have like a little chat about it. I don't know. If not, I'll just read it on my own like a loser, and that's fine. It's okay, I don't mind. I do read everything else, and you know. And the last book I want to show you is called Imposter Syndrome by Joseph Knox. Hold on, if I hold this here, it should be like my face. Anyway, I have to say the American version of this cover is so much better. I've seen the American one, I was like, what? UK version, not as cool. It's still cool. I like the fact it's this close-up face and the big glasses, but yeah, I think the American version was better. So Joseph Knox, I absolutely loved Crime Story, or True Crime Story. That was absolutely fantastic. You know, I remember reading a true crime story and thinking for the first couple of chapters, have I actually picked up a non-fiction? Because it felt so real, but it was fiction still. But yeah, really good book. So looking forward to read something else from this author. It says, when you're living a lie, you find it best to avoid close attachments. So Lynch is a burned out con artist. He arrives broke in London. Try not to dwell on the mistakes that got him there. When he bumps into Bobby, who is a rehab-bound heiress who briefly mistakes him for a missing brother. Lynch senses the opportunity as well as the danger. Bobby's brother Hayden was a troubled young man, and 5 years ago he walked out the family home, never went back, and his car was found parked on a bridge overlooking the Thames in the early hours of the same morning. Unsettled by Bobby's story and suffering from a rare attack of conscience, Lynch tries to back off. But when Bobby leaves the rehab the following day, he finds himself drawn to a luxurious family home and into a meeting with her mother, the formidable Miranda. Seeing the same resemblance that her daughter did, Miranda proposes that she hire Lynch to assume her son's identity in a last-ditch effort to flush out his killer. As Lynch begins to impersonate him, dark forces are lured out of the shadows, and he realises too late that Hayden wasn't paranoid at all. Someone was watching his every move, and they'll kill to keep it a secret. So I've got to be honest. If I'm being honest, I don't think it sounds as good as a true crime story, but as I say, that book was so freaking amazing. I've got to try a book from this author again. So I don't know, if this would have been another author, I'd have probably not picked it up, but because I love Joseph Knox's last book, then it's kind of like, okay, I've got to check it out. So we'll see. But it says none of us are who we say we are. So there we go. They are my new books. Honestly, I need to get through my books. Like, bookworm problems. Like, I have so many books. And my issue is, number one, I'm a mood reader. So I have to be in a certain mood for a certain genre to read. And the other one is, like, I have so many books and I just keep getting more. Or I'll go to the library and get more. And I know that's a common thing of bookworms. It's a, well-known thing that bookworms, do love collecting and, buying books. But sometimes I look at my bookcases and I look at the big piles of books. And then, like, I look on the sofa and I've got books on there. And I go next to my bed and there's books there. It's just like there's books everywhere. And I think it's quite overwhelming. And then I'll just go into a shop and buy another one. So I am my own worst enemy, basically. But I do read, like I read every single day, so I'm not one of these people who just buys loads of books and like doesn't read them. I do read a hell of a lot, but I've got to sort it out. I said to Nathan, I'm going to put myself on a little bit of a book ban for the next it should be for the next few months, but we'll see how that goes. Unless there's any like special books, I'm going to really try my best to not buy any and just catch up with what I've already got. We'll see how that goes. But that's the plan anyway. But that is the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed watching. And, let me know if there's any of these books that you think, sound exciting, that you're interested in. Or, as I say, if you do want to buddy read this one with me at some point, let me know. Or if any of these books you've thought, oh, I've got that and I'd like to buddy read, or I could go and get that. I really would love to have some more people that I can buddy read with. I've done it a bit in the past. I've buddy read with people and it's really fun. You get to the end and you just chat about the book and your opinions and views and what you thought, and I love that. So if you want to be my book buddy, let me know in the comments. Okay, everyone, that's the end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my other channel, MinxLaura123 ASMR. The link's down below. And all the links to my social media down below as well. So come and follow me on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and Goodreads as well, if you're a fellow bookworm. Check out the Goodreads page. Love a bit of Goodreads. And I also have a Throne wish list if you want to spoil me or treat me. Okay, everyone, take care of yourselves. Happy reading. And I better go tidy these books up because they're just all over the floor. And then I'm going to have a little read of my book. So I'll see you later. Bye.